Welcome to another video by Pharos Technology. Today we're going to talk about what a data warehouse is and why they exist today. So let's get started. Reports before data warehouses were run from individual systems. A typical finance analyst day would be to go to accounting to get accounting data so that you could do some budgeting or report actuals. You'd go to the warehouse people, not the physical warehouse, not the data warehouse, and get some data from them. Then you would go to get some invoices from your billing folks so you could know when people were delivering more product to the data warehouse. You had these siloed pieces of information from systems that were running their particular function, and you had to approach that function in order to get the information and data that you needed or wanted. In the 1990s, executives became a whole lot more concerned with running the overall business rather than just seeing how accounting was doing or how a particular function was being accomplished, and possibly how successful those functions were. That concern led to the emergence of data warehousing, which provided the ability to do more decision making because it allowed management to have data in one place where the reports could be built on an ad hoc basis and didn't disrupt the day-to-day operations as it did when you had to go to the individual systems. A data warehouse became a collection of information gathered from the operational databases. Reports were built that would support business analysis and decision-making type of activities. The primary purpose of the data warehouse was to aggregate information. The goal was to get the data into a single view of the truth so that all of the business entities could get information they needed to make more accurate business decisions. There were two basic models of the data warehouse that rose to prominence. The first was proposed by Bill Inman, who believed that the data warehouse should be an enterprise-wide set of data that you could then break out into smaller data marts. The data warehouse itself was to be built in third normal form, which meant that it was likely a replication of the production transactional systems. The data was made available in smaller data marts so that different entities could be served separately. A competing philosophy that rose to prominence was one by Ralph Kimball. He believed that smaller data marts should be stood up and eventually could be combined into a larger data warehouse. So where Inman set up the warehouse first and then split it, Kimball built the smaller data marts, then combined them into the data warehouse. Another big difference was that these data marts and warehouse were built on a dimensional model, such as a star schema from the very start, which in essence ends up denormalizing the data into much faster data structures that were able to be retrieved by business intelligence or business analytics packages much more quickly. The data warehouse model looks similar to the diagram. This would be more like the Inman model, where the internal and external databases fed into the warehouse, and the data marts were then split off from the warehouse. You see marketing, sales, and billing and inventory from internal systems, and you see an example of some external data that may become part of the warehouse. The Kimball model would have the right column of data marts in the middle and the warehouse on the right. So you see it being split into data marts and then the warehouse. When pulling the data from the source systems, some of the systems may have the same type of data, such as names and phone numbers, built a little bit differently. The ETL process confirms those fields to the same format, so the data is consistently viewed. During this process, a data cleansing process is also done, where the inconsistent or incorrect data is corrected or rejected, and a message sent to the source system to track down the record and make a correction. Here's an example of some data cleansing that may take place. Systems from sales, customer service, and billing may have their own systems that are not integrated with each other. As such, they may maintain the same information on the same customers. If so, the data warehouse will standardize them into a single table. You see the issue with Pat Burton or Patty Burton or Tricia Burton or Patricia Burton that could all arise during data processing. The system, the data warehouse person would confirm that those 4 different entries are in fact the same client or customer, and if so, they would conform them to the same type of data, such as they would agree on one name or one of the others. Patricia Burton possibly would be the winner in this case, and all of those would be transformed into Patricia Burton, so that one customer consolidates to one record. So the goal of the cleansing routines is to add missing records or correct attributes, remove redundant records and missing keys or other required data, correct erroneous relationships or references, and correct inaccurate data. This is a very important part of the process, and that is necessary before you attach your business intelligence or business analytics package to the data and begin building reports on that data. So, organizational data contains structured data in databases. Also, the business may have a lot of unstructured data, such as voicemails, phone calls, text messages, and possibly video clips. All of this data ends up in the data warehouse. Improving the quality of business decisions has a direct impact on costs and revenue. So, in essence, a data warehouse meets the need of the business by allowing the business to have one view of the truth, and that one view of the truth can then be sent to the business intelligence or business analytics packages to be extrapolated into the kind of decisions that need to be made for the business going forward. Business intelligence enables the business users to receive data for analysis that is reliable, consistent, understandable, and easily manipulated. Those attributes in and of themselves help lower costs and increase revenue over time. So I hope you've enjoyed this little tidbit into what data warehousing is all about. If you liked this video, felt it was valuable, hit that like button for us and let's get it out to other people. Also, if you subscribe, you'll be able to see other data warehousing videos that we'll be putting out in the near future and be able to take this journey with us to learn more about how data warehousing really benefits the business. Thanks for watching.